Well, this has felt like a mostly Turtles month, I know, especially with the Last Ronin. We had Wave 3 we showed you guys. We're going to show you another wave of exclusives. We showed you some other Turtle stuff, too. I want to keep that Turtle train running and that Last Ronin train running as well. Excited to see the announcement that we're getting a live-action film based on the comics, so that's going to be awesome. So what we have here is from Diamond Select Toys. We have the Last Ronin Legends in 3D half-scale bust, and it's going to be of the Last Ronin. I don't want to do a 360 of the box because the only artwork is right here in the front. It's just going to be the Legends in gold leaf. And then a quick note that you could barely see on the back. I can't even read it in the light here, but it's just kind of the story of the Last Ronin. And of course the numbering written right here. But it's extremely dark, so it's kind of hard to see. But that is really it for the box. What's really cool is what's in the box. If you're not familiar with the Legends in 3D, these are the half-scale busts that Diamond Select Toys, Gentle Giant / Diamond Select Toys, have been doing for the past couple years. You're familiar with the mini busts they do. These are just going to be a lot larger. They're not full scale, like I said, half scale. In some cases, they're not really half scale. So you might see the Stay Puft review we did. That's not going to be half scale, obviously. Some other ones would be just too large to do half scale. But for the most part, these are roughly half scale. For most humanoid characters, I'd say they're in the ballpark of that. Tremendous amount of detail, really great look to them, really fun bases. There's just a lot going on with these guys, so they're really cool, a lot of fun. And they're not full scale, so they don't take up a ton of room on your shelf, so you can put a couple of them out there. If you want more look at some of the half-scale busts we have done, reviews we've done in the past, please go look through our archive of both our video reviews and on the site. But for now, let's hop in and check out the Last Ronin. Alright, I'm going to do a full unboxing today because these are not difficult to open. You just have the top here. It's going to have a card, and the card is just going to have the numbering. Again, I believe this is 169 of 1,000. And that will also be written on the box and on the bottom, the base of the figure. Outside of that, we have these fitted styrofoam containers they're in, and these are taped all around the edges. So it depends on how you want to do this. I like to try to create a hinge. So what I do is I'll start on the bottom here, and I will just go through the crevice all the way up to the top of the styrofoam. And then I will keep the one side preserved so it can kind of swing on a hinge. Now I like to keep the boxes because if I ever move these things around, I like having that foam fitting styrofoam. Not this one, but some other ones have sort of protrusions on them, or maybe this one, we'll check it out. And it's hard to sort of ship those without them breaking off. So you want to be careful with that. So I highly recommend keeping the styrofoam or buying some foam if you plan on ever moving these things around. So here we go, we have our little hinge, and you can see how it's fitted in the box here just perfectly, that little silica packet. So we'll take this guy out, and he's going to have a bag in addition to being wrapped in that styrofoam. So just be careful when you're throwing them around. You don't want to shatter anything that is dangling loose here. So here we go, we have our Last Ronin. And he's going to be featuring a whole lot of weapons here. But first, let me give you a 360 of the character. You can see a tremendous amount of detail. I love how they keep that perspective on it to make it look like it's real clothing, even though it's this stone base that these are made out of. These are not made out of real skin or anything. Not rubber, it's all that stone. So they did a great job with the goggles there with the nunchaku. And then on the back, you could see a portion of the bow and the katana. They're not going to have the whole thing. It would be way too big. And then you could see the sai there, and then that circular holder he had, or holster he had. And then you catch a little glimpse of Splinter's book on the back, and we'll get into that a little bit more in a moment. So you can see him here. He's got his hood in the front, and he's got that mean cowl on his face, and a little bit of raggediness to his outfit here. It's a little battle damaged. I'll show you that number here on the bottom. There it is again, that 169. So that's keeping consistent. So yeah, I mean, he's got that mean look on him. Great job on the teeth there. You can see the different shades of coloring in that teeth. And then the white eyes. And yeah, they even got the goggles here. Now the goggles are not, it would have been more fun if they had a little translucent plastic piece for the lenses. These are just kind of painted on here. So not translucent goggles. The nunchaku look great. They have that nice chain going across them there. They're painted as well. They got the wooden handles. And like I said, it's got a great look where it looks like fabric, like these leather shoulder guards, but that is not the case. These are made out of stone. On the back, you got that bow staff that is cut in half, basically, because this is where the bust ends. And then you get the wrappings on the top, a little purple coloring in there to give it a little callback to Donnie. Same with Leo and his katanas, get a little blue etching in there to give you that callback to Leo. And that's also cut off right here and smoothed out at the bottom. Over here, you got the Sai from Raphael, a little red undertone for Raphael. Now, there are two Sai, and as I recall from the comic, one was lost with Raphael. It kind of sank to the bottom. And they recovered one up at the pier because it was the foot pulled it out of Karai and left it on the dock. And you get to see that scene actually in the next novel, The Lost Years. They have, when they pulled Raphael out, you could see the Sai next to him, but the other one floated to the bottom in the comic. And I'm pretty sure the Last Ronin throughout the issue only had the one Sai. So this is kind of weird that there's two Sai here. I mean, I know what they're going for. Raphael had two Sai, but there should only be one Sai. There's nothing you can really do. It's kind of part of the mold here, but that's kind of interesting. And I'll double check that, and I'll circle back to that at the end of the video. But I think it was only the one Sai. The only other accessory that he's kind of known for is had those EMP, what do you call them? Not Eskrima sticks, the EMP tonfas. So with the little cross guard on them where you hold them there. And that was the only other accessory, and that's not on here. Kind of unclear where he had those. I think they were maybe on his belt or something like that. So they would have been a little bit lower on the torso. You wouldn't have seen them. Same with the Sai though, but the nunchaku they just wrapped around his head, so that kind of makes sense. So they got a whole lot of accessories kind of representing all the turtles here, so it's got the spirit of the Last Ronin. And then you have the base, and the base we talked about here, you can see it a little bit more closely. You have a nice pipe. He's on a pipe here, symbolizing the sewers where he was hiding out for a good bulk of the comic while he was recovering. See that little valve on there, you got the brick showing that sewer rubble, and in the back you got that little hidden book, and that's Splinter's book that became his book that he passed on to Casey and April's daughter. So that is hidden there in the back. So it's a fun little callback or call forward to the novel as well. So like I said, these have little fun features on the bases. They kind of tell a story. So this story is, the Last Ronin, after that opening scene, descended into the sewer. He kind of hid out there. He had his book, Time for Reflection. So that's just sort of carrying the story there. And then you have all the turtles' weapons behind him, and I kind of like this sort of artistic display of the weapons behind him, and he has the nunchaku in front, because we all know, spoiler alert, the Last Ronin is Michelangelo, so this is sort of embodying, his character here with his weapon in front of him, and then you have his past, you have all the fallen turtles that he's carrying on his back, that burden that he carries with him. So I kind of like the symbolism of having all the weapons on the back. I think the Sai were actually on his belt in the comic, but I kind of like that symbolism if he's carrying his brothers with him here. And then, of course, he's got his nunchaku, which are his signature weapon. So a lot of storytelling going on in this. It's not just a fun bust of the Last Ronin. He's got a lot of little bit more dynamic to it. So yeah, that is essentially it in terms of what we're seeing on this guy. And you saw some of the great close-ups. The only other thing I'll call out is a nice stitching look on the hood here, all the way around, a little ruffled look to it. Diamond Select Gentle Giant does a really great job of bringing stone to life, essentially, and being able to carve this into the polystone here. So really great look. Love how this turned out, and I think you guys will too if you're Last Ronin fans. You saw the gallery diorama we did. Now we got this guy, and he looks fantastic. So he would be great to display with your Last Ronin stuff, with your turtle stuff. I just view this as a natural conclusion to the turtle story. It's written by the original author, so of course it is. So it's just, I know it's a different world called the Roninverse, but I think it's really fun to have this story end this way. And it's very, very adult, very dark, and very moving things forward. So yeah, this is a really great bust. I think you guys will love this. It's available right now. Perfectly timed up with the announcement of the live action film and all these great Last Ronin figures we have coming out. All right, and that's our look at the Legends in 3D Last Ronin from Diamond Select Toys and Gentle Giant. Absolutely love it. What's not to love about it? Looks great. A lot of fun in that storytelling dynamic, a lot of symbolism in there. And the only thing that bothers me is the two Sai. I did go and double check. He only has that one Sai, and it is on its waist belt. It's because the other one fell to the bottom after Raphael died there, and they didn't recover it, just the one Sai. He had one Sai, one katana, one bow. Well, Donnie only had one bow, and then I believe only the one pair nunchaku and the two tonfa. So that was it. So I don't know why they went with the extra Sai. I get it. Raphael had two. At least they only had one katana though. So yeah, that is essentially the only issue I see with this. Otherwise, I absolutely love it. It's perfect. I think you'll love it despite that. I think it's great if you're not an accuracy nerd like me. So I think it's great. And it retails around 180. Depends on what website you go to. Of course, we'll have our code for you guys. It's CoolToy22 at Entertainment Earth, and that will get you free shipping and 10% off. So you can grab this guy right now. He should be available. I'll have a link posted in the video if you want to pick him up. And I think he's fun. He doesn't take up a whole lot of space. You can see he's just a little bigger than my hand. So I want to say maybe in the 10, 11 inch range here, and then about 7 or 8 inches wide. So, and that's just at the top. He gets narrower at the bottom. So it doesn't take up a whole lot of space. So you can fit this guy on your shelf easy. Still has a lot of weight to him. I want to say he's definitely in the 3-4 pound range, maybe even 5. So he's definitely solid, which I love about these things. They feel great, they look great, and they're just fun to collect. So pick this guy up right now. We'll have those links for that. Of course, we're going to have more Last Ronin stuff. Like I said, we still have that Syndra Elite bot, and we have the First of All Raphael. We're going to show you guys maybe one more. We'll see if we could grab it before one more surprise. I don't want to spoil the announcement of it before we do that video. And then, of course, we're going to have more Super 7 Turtles. We're going to have some more surprises from Transformers and other things as well. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but those are in the future. We're looking at a lot of new products right now. It's a great time for releases. We're excited. I'm sure you guys are excited too. And then we'll keep covering all the other new announcements on the website. So be sure to check out CoolToyReview.com as well. So that's all for this time. Like, subscribe, and follow. See you guys next time.